There we go. So let's do our first online video. Hello, Lee Pasty, as it knows you as.
Hello.
Just sorry, just trying to sort the screens out and stuff. So yeah, I haven't had a chance. I've used the float once. We've been texting back and forth. I've been trying to get down to Cornwall, but yeah, unfortunately that hasn't really happened. But yeah, the new float's come out, and I was a little bit skeptical because I think the unit, a lot of people would agree, the unit's a very good wing, and has been a very good wing and still is a very good wing. And then, yeah, I sort of didn't necessarily know there was a need for another wing, which obviously Duotone did. And having watched all the videos, they've sort of made a dedicated wave wing. Do you want to yeah, I've used it once and I was actually very, very pleasantly surprised at how much more stable it was to the unit. But do you want to go over, you said you've been using it quite a lot this week, and maybe we can get a clip up of you riding.
Yeah. So yeah, I had the 5 meter for that came first. So I had that for quite a while now. And I've also got a 3 meter, a 4 meter, which I've had for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. I've had the 5 meter since it came 2 days after I got back from Cape Town. So I've had that now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was a little bit skeptical, but I did have a quick go on a prototype back a while ago. But the conditions when I used that were a bit sketchy. But I too was like been coming from the unit, been using the 5.5 D lab on the unit, and that's a mix for lightweight. So I was a bit, will the 5 meter float be better than the D lab, which is so good for wave riding?
Yeah.
And first thing you notice when you get up was the leading edge, the middle of the leading edge is really big.
Yeah.
Whoa, is this going to feel draggy? But as soon as you get on the water, you don't feel any drag, and the thing is just so stable.
Yeah.
And the flag out is where it really excels. And flag out, I think it's probably without doubt the best flag out wing on the market at the moment.
Yeah. And then what, as in, it's not, well, how I found is it doesn't tip either way when you say flag out, but it also looks very level. It's also very sort of like horizontally very level as well.
Yeah. So it's got a bigger on the leader there, different, wider, which feels really good in your hand. But the thing you notice is most wings, when you're waving, especially if you're turning a lot of the wings a bit onshore, then you're constantly twisting your wrist like so to try and keep the wing level, and you're constantly trying to fight the wing, keep it from it. Whereas float, you don't have to do that. Your hand is just neutral.
You can see there, you're just letting it rest, and it's just stable.
Yeah. So the span, the wing span is much shorter. It's got quite a long center strut, and yeah, so even in the big size, that you don't really got the tips so much. So it's so rare that the wing will catch a tip and flip upside down.
Yeah.
Whereas on some of the wide wings, especially if the wing is onshore, downwind in the onshore particularly, then the tip would catch when it's a bit bigger and choppy, and then the wing would flip. And I think they only had it flip twice the whole time I've been using it, and I've probably done 50 hours on the float now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I only went out for like a quick 20-minute session, and it was maybe, I think it was like 1 or 2 degrees, and it just was too cold. And I was like, these conditions, it was offshore, gusty at West Wistering. I was like, this is way too cold. So I thought it was really crap conditions. But actually, looking back on it, I came in because the wind was too gusty and it was just all over the place. But looking back, I wasn't actually frustrated at the wing because it was really stable. And I think if it was another wing, when you're in that gusty offshore conditions, the wing can sometimes turbulate, over the waves when you're going out, and then it flips over, and then it makes it even harder trying to get out in like offshore, cross offshore conditions. it didn't do that. But then even when I was up and riding, it felt really. I think I was worried that it was going to feel like the slick, which sometimes when the slick was really loaded up, it would have quite a lot of pull. And because it's a full boom on this, I thought it was going to basically feel like the slick. But there's something about the canopy and the way it exhausts, which I think got the Mod 3S material in it, which is obviously on the new
Yeah,
unit.
it's exactly the same canopy material.
That's
Um, so basically, the materials are exactly the same as the standard 2025.
yeah, and I think that definitely did improve the stability in the gusts. I found
Yeah.
it's a lot more fluid, smooth, like it handles the sort of changes in the pressures on the wing, and I think that helps. Well, it complements the stability of the wing in terms of it not flipping. Those two things together make it really, really forgiving.
And the draft point of the float is further forward. So,
Yeah,
so that does. There's two things that does is that when it's gusty and stuff, the pull is much further forward, so it's much easier to feel the wind off the back if it's
yeah,
really stacked or overpowered. So the draft point is further forward than on the unit.
yeah,
What that does mean is that to get going, you need to bear off a little bit more. So probably when I'm pumped to get going, I probably bear off about 10 degrees more on the float, but on the unit. And as long as you bear off,
yeah, because the pull, like windsurfing, if the pull was further back, you kind of feel like you've got more power in your hand. Because it's further forward, you've got to change the angle to get more power centrally in the wind to get you to get the same lift.
yeah,
But it is more efficient. Like you were saying, you were surprised compared to a D-Lab, even though it's standard. In the Duotone world, it's standard construction. You were saying it's what, similar to the SLS or similar to D-Lab in power?
I think the 5.5 float easily the same power as the 5.5 D Lab.
Wow.
So I was out the other day. It was good condition. And I was probably 10 knots back home.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd used it really in its low end. And I was a bit skeptical. It was really everywhere. I was on the 5.8 Skybrid with the 750 glass.
Yeah.
And no problem to get going because I think the float pairs really well with the mid-length style boards because you need to bear off that little bit more so that you can get the speed going with the Skybrid, and then you just give a couple of bumps off and you're up. So
I think we all just like mid-lengths now, don't we?
yeah, so
it helps everything.
And I've been out on the 4 meter when other people are on 6 meters.
Yeah, that's it. Being more powerful. It allows you to be on a smaller wing in the waves, which then stops it catching and just stops it. It complements again that controllability when you're flagging or wave riding. On small wing.
Another difference that on the unit, because I'm 6'2", I've got quite long arms. I really preferred the way I had on the unit.
But just broke up a little bit there. Would you say you really prefer?
I preferred the handles on the unit on all of the models. Over the boot.
Yeah.
As the way it felt with the handle. You can see there that the boom was pretty straight. That meant that the angle on the unit was your backhand was almost twisted the wrong way. Whereas so whereas on the float, it's a much more neutral angle. And I spoke with Ken about this. He was surprised to tell the difference that there's a 1 degree angle difference in the boom.
Sensitive, are you?
And I tried to explain it to him that maybe here when it's 4 degrees wind chill when you're wearing a 5 mil wetsuit, that 1 degree makes a difference. So, but it's definitely much more comfortable, the boom on the float, whether it's just because that draft point is further forward as well. So there's not so much pulling the back open. That
It's changed the angle that the boom sits. Yeah.
the boom actually really nice on the float, and I don't see you don't even really notice you're holding it. And swapping back and forth when I onto the dab or the float, it's basically the same sort of cover. Whereas if I go from the handles on the unit to the boom on the unit, I've instantly hit like a wrist. It doesn't feel quite comfortable.
Yeah.
So the boom on the float is really perfect.
That's good to hear, because I know you weren't, like you said, you weren't too happy on the unit with the boom, and I did notice that with you, that when we were together in Cornwall, I did notice that. There's actually quite a lot less. I don't know how accurate these 3D models are, but it looks like there's quite a lot less V straight on. I noticed it when I was looking down the boom. You can see the distance between the central strut and the end of the tip. It's quite flat.
Yeah.
Whereas that's quite high from the center line up to the tip. It's really pulling out.
I think that just because that draft point on the unit is that much further back, that it gives that strut really bendy until there. Which then does change the angle of the handle. But I think it's more the way it slides as well that changes your sheeting out.
Yeah.
So you're not quite, because the draft point's forward, you're not quite having to sheet in as much to get the same pointed angle when riding up with.
Yeah. So there's obviously pros and cons of both. I mean, obviously the float is a wave wing, but you said in text before we started the call that So if you tried it jumping, is it just not?
It still jumps, but I think the main difference is it's not quite as fast, because you've got that. It's a much bigger leading edge. The reason I was on the D-lab for my 5.5 on the unit was because of the smaller leading edge, which reduces the drag. So if you want to go fast, then the float is not for you. And if you want to do big, massive floaty jumps or rotations, then again you'll be better on the unit, which is not only that the float has got bigger leading edge, so it's going to be more drag, but also that draft point, because it's further forward. If you are going to be rotating 360 or back loops and stuff, then you're not going to get the whip so much, because obviously you're having to push the wing through the wind more until it gets into the power again.
Yeah.
So it really is for a wave wing. If you're looking to jump and go fast, stick with the unit. But where I've noticed the last few days, I've had like 4 days in a row on the 3 meter now, and it's been really gusty because we've had easterly winds.
Yeah.
Hey, if anyone's looking for a high wind wing, the float is a great option.
Yeah.
It's so stable, it's so easy to tack. The power is so smooth in it. It's not, you don't get any of that jerkiness that you get with some of the smaller, like the unit is great in a 3 meter. The standard unit is what I was using nearly every day in Cape Town. But I think the 3 meter float is just a little bit more forgiving. And it behaves so well. It's so safe that if you're not wanting to do jumps when weather, and I think the float would be a great option as a free wing.
Yeah.
Just because it's so well behaved. That's the main thing when it's that windy. So if it's over 30 miles an hour, then you don't want to be fighting your wing. You want to be comfortable. If the float, I'd say a 2.5 would be amazing as well if you're lighter. And I think probably come next autumn, I'll probably get a 2.5 as well as free. just because it's so balanced and so stable.
Yeah, I've always wanted a 2.5. I've always used the 3, but there's definitely been times where it's been too big. So now it's more powerful. I'm probably going to need one.
Yeah, I just found before that I think because the strut is longer, I think it just balances it out a bit more. And
Yeah,
you can see here I'm on a 4 and this guy is on a 6 in this clip.
yeah.
And power.
Looks like a small wing, doesn't it? It does look
Yeah,
small.
yeah. It's like the 3 meter looks tiny when I pumped it up last week the first time because the span you're like, oh, this thing's tiny, but then it just generates good power.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's quite wide on the strut, but then the tips are shorter, so they don't catch.
Yeah,
You can see there it's very stable.
yeah, it's so good.
That definitely the 4. It looks tiny.
Yeah, that's the 4. My 3 is the blue or whatever colour it is, violet and white.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
It looks great. I like the dark grey and yellow.
yeah, so but it's just another guy here, Harvey he got 3.5 that he's got at the moment, and when I asked him if he liked it, he was saying, "Well, the other wings are up for sale," and all he was raving about was the flag handle. Um, you know, if you do like wave ride, he said it's worth upgrading to them just for the flag handle, and that's without
It's wider, isn't it? It's quite wide.
So yeah, so you can shift your hand from side to side on the handle.
Yeah,
So especially if you're if you're going up with or doing behind passes and stuff, so much easier to grab the handle because it's that much bigger.
yeah.
So you
And
can
it's quite
you
flat. It's quite wide. Like
yeah
it's a nice sort of like webbing, like it's a nice strap. It's quite different to the unit.
yeah quite different.
I don't think that picture there does it justice, really. I don't think that's quite right.
It's
Um,
so much better. Any I've found on any wing on the market so far.
yeah, I don't think this 3D render is quite right.
Uh,
Um,
the handle on
I
the
think,
unit is much narrower than what it looks on that picture,
yeah,
and it's
one,
more of a D shape,
yeah,
whereas the handle on the float is more like a half of a circle.
yeah. You can see how big it is there. You could get 2 or 3 hands in that
Yeah,
space.
easy hold it with 2 hands. Yeah, no problem. And you could see in that picture there that you can hold it one side or other depending if you're going front side or back side,
Yeah,
and it just gives you that little bit more angle on the wing
yeah,
to cut behind it. Um,
yeah. Nice.
uh,
Trying to think what other people are going to ask. It's in stock, which is probably a good thing to say. It's a
yeah,
little cheaper than the unit. I don't know how much. I can't remember how much the standard unit was. Um, Unit 2025, so equivalent. A 4 meter is 889.
yeah.
4 meters 849. That's without the boom, so you do have to add that on top. But it is, a little bit cheaper, £40 cheaper.
I think the best thing for me is it's the lightweight. There's no windows to get damaged.
Yeah,
Don't miss looking through the windows at all. It's so easy to lift the wing up before you're going to something to see any come in there. It's
oh,
not
the light broke up a little bit there. What did you say?
so easy. Before you're going to jibe or tack or something, you can just lift the wing up, so
Yeah,
I don't miss the windows at all. And because of the lightweight, I think it's lighter than the D-Lab in size way.
yeah,
And because of the extra power, so I've got 5.5 unit D-Lab, 4.5 and 3.5 SF standard. My
yeah,
5 meter, 4 meter float, 3 meter float. So so I might have to add in, not had a 40, 50 knot yet, the 3 meter can handle it. But I might add in a 2.5s for those sort of days. But at the moment, I think that quiver is going to do me from 10 miles an hour up to at least 40.
Yeah.
Those 3 wings, which is, yeah, pretty much. You don't really go winging in outside of 10 and 40 miles an hour anyway.
Yeah. You see how taut the canopy is there. It's quite flat, the canopy, but you said the front edge is
Yeah,
wider. It's a
yeah,
really smooth, let's take a windsurfing, say, a really smooth front edge
yeah.
to the,
I think as long as people, if they jump on it and try and just get going across the wind, pumping the same way as they would with a unit, then they'll think that it's not got that much low end. But as long as you bear off an extra 10 degrees,
yeah.
pump with the wing more in front of you, then
Mm,
all it needs is 2 or 3 pumps, and you get going and you're up.
yeah. It's a good point.
That really forward draft point really pulls you, but you've got to be going broad reach to get going.
Yeah.
You
The
won't.
only other thing I've noticed is obviously because it's a fixed boom only, the bag is obviously quite a bit longer. So some people like
Yeah,
when you pull packs down, it's, I don't know how big the boom is. It's about a meter, I think, isn't it?
it's
Roughly.
yeah, it's the bag. I think is probably for the 5 meter. The bag is probably about 20 centimeters longer than the unit with handles.
Yeah.
Because
So
if
not
you unit with the boom, it's the same length because it's the same boom.
yes. Yeah.
But if you with the handles, the bag, you didn't have to extend the bag if you're on handles. So
Yeah.
it's about 20 centimeters longer for the float bag
Yeah.
per size,
Yeah.
which isn't a great deal. But it means that it's also folded better. So, you in terms of folding wings, which is not good for them, you're not folding it so much anyway. Um, so
Yeah.
you literally fold over the bottom corner up to the boom of the strut. That's the only bit of the wing gets folded. So it's
Yeah.
a bit behind the boom where the fold is when you put it in the bag. So
Yeah.
it's actually really easy to put it in the bag. I just flip it over inside out and roll it so that there's 2 tips are together, and roll it up and fold the tip over and put it in the bag. Um,
Oh, you like a kite, you sort of fold the two far ends in.
yeah, I said that I fold them so that so that the top of the wing is against each other, so that the boom is below.
Yeah.
Roll the 2 together, which squeezes the air out of the inflate valve, the airport valve.
Yeah.
Um, and then when you get to the middle, you can squeeze the last bit of air out of the strut,
Yeah.
fold the strut over to the boom, and put it in the bag.
Yeah. Like inside out sort of thing. Yeah.
You, you can do that. You can do that without even the wing hitting the floor if you do it on the beach or it's raining or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Really, that's the best way. I wouldn't travel or store it like that for any time, but if you're going to store it, then you'd roll it up half each half, and then
Yeah.
uh, for putting it away at the beach in the wind, then that's the easiest way I find.
Yeah. Cool. Trying to think any other questions really. We talked about the main differences between it and the float and the unit and then the power. It's a fixed boom. Talked about the
Yeah,
materials. Um,
I don't, I think people will be surprised how big the strut is when they look at it, especially in the middle there where the handle is. It looks like one of the old school, like an Echo sort of size
yeah.
strut edge. But when you're on the water, there's no drag. Um, I was riding the other day on the 4 meter and the 750 guide D Lab,
Yeah.
still doing 26 miles an hour going along in the chop. So
Yeah.
it's not it's slower than the unit, but it's not slow. Um,
No,
so
I think it's so forgiving with the Mod 3S like that and the new unit. They're just so comfortable to ride across or
yeah,
no matter on the angle. They just that material and the way the canopy's got the tension, it
yeah,
sort of
it's right.
harnesses power but releases it at the right time.
Yeah,
And it's just compared to like the Echo, you mentioned the Echo, like how heavy that was.
Yeah.
Even the stick was like quite grunty and a proper like free ride sort of wing, whereas these are just so forgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've really come on. You sort of keep thinking, well, what differences can they make? But they do seem to keep. There obviously was a need and it's worked. So
Yeah. I
it
think
definitely,
it's great now that that now they've got really set that you've got the unit for big air and tricks and stuff and general fast blasting free ride. And for me, I think I really wanted a wave thick gear. Um, and now we've got the mid lengths are great for our conditions in the UK with the gusty wind, and the float really pairs perfectly with the skybrid,
yeah,
because you've got to you can always want to be on the smallest kit you can possibly be on, whether it be hand wing or foil. Um, and by having the skybrid, like yesterday, I was coaching and I was on the 85, the 5.8 85 litre with the 4 meter, and
yeah,
then the conditions really turned on. All of a sudden, we had a safe swell kicked in, and
yeah,
it went to head and a half high. So when we finished the lesson, we jumped out on the Skybrid 55 litre, the
yeah,
5.4 with the 3 meter wing, and and then other people were amazed I could actually get going even on the
yeah,
3 meter, because I was only on a 650 foil, but because of the length of the 5.4, it gets going so quick. As soon as you get a little puff, then
yeah,
you're going. And all I did was bear off with the 3 meter float. It was up, and it was just so, because the waves were breaking to the right, which was actually upwind. I wouldn't have been able to go upwind on the 4 meter and wave ride as critically as I could with the 3 meter because of the drag. So you always want to be on a smallest hand wing you can, to, especially if you're riding upwind on the waves, to reduce the drag.
yeah,
The 3 meter behaves so amazing. So um, with no tip strikes, no flipping over, just super stable and plenty of power, even when the wind was going between like 20 and 35 miles an hour. Still on a 3 meter.
yeah, yeah, nice. Yeah, it's the water line, isn't it? The rocker line and the straight parallel rails. It just makes it just cuts through the water and gets that speed up. A
Yeah,
lot.
so Skybrid, when I just took to Cape Town with me, I took the Skybrid 5.4 with the 620 and 750 glide D-Lab foils.
Yep.
And nearly the whole time out there, I was riding the 620. There's just one onshore day where I rode the 750.
Yeah.
Biggest wing I took was the 4.5 unit. And and people were out on 6 meter wings, and I was still going on the 4.5 and the 55 litre Skybrid.
Yeah. Tiny, isn't it? And how much do you weigh? You're a bit
I'm
heavier than that.
85 kilos.
Yes. That's,
So I was bigger than most. I'm bigger than most people that wing, because I'm 6'2".
yeah.
Well, and yet, so yeah. And the good thing with the Skybrid is that as soon as you get a little bit of wind in the wing, you can stand up and start moving forwards. So
Yep.
explaining to a guy on the coaching session yesterday that you want to because they were struggling because the wind was gusty, and you want to preempt the gust, and you could do that on the mid-length boards by gently feathering the wing before the gust hits you. So you're looking upwind, watching the gust coming, and you can feather the wing to start getting a bit of forward speed. So the board's already on the surface, so that when the gust hits, you just give 2 puffs in the gusts
Yeah.
and you're out.
Yeah.
Whereas on the square fatter boards, you can't get going forwards because they're too draggy. So
Yeah.
that you have to wait for the gust to hit, and then if it's just a small gust, by the time you've given a few pumps and got to the surface,
You missed it.
the gust is gone and you're not on foil.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Whereas I can ride a 55-litre board instead of riding a 85-litre board.
Yeah. It's the water tension, it's the straightness, isn't it? If
Yeah.
they're sitting in the water and they're pushing against the water, they just sink. Whereas this one glides.
Yeah,
Same
and
with the clutch.
especially in waves and chop and white water, that you can go over the white water because you've got the nose length to go over.
Yeah, your pumps are more efficient because it actually directly pushes it forward rather than pushing.
Or even if you're on your knee, the white water, you can still stay on the board, whereas the big fat wide ones just get pushed sideways and you fall off. So,
Yeah, snowplow.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
cool. Okay, that's great. I think that worked really well considering
nice one. Yeah. So
uh,
the waves are pumping at the moment. I'm just waiting for the rain to stop and the wind to kick in, but it's a little bit bigger than yesterday. So
you're in it. It's not very windy. In
it's
crap winter.
going to be going off. So hopefully in a minute we'll be able to jump out there.
Nice. Cool. Cheers, man. Any
But
questions? Drop below. We'll chuck it on Facebook as well, and then you can post on there. Hopefully, me and Pasty can reply to any questions. But
yeah,
I hope that's really helpful for the Duotone Float.
yeah. And if anyone wants any wave coaching, don't forget, come down to Cornwall and hook me up. PastyAdventures.co.uk.
So then, what is it? How do we book on?
Look, I'll just go onto the website on Pasty Adventures and
Pasty.
PASTY Adventures. There you go. Just hook on, hit on there. You got all the details, the price, and everything. Then send me a message or give me a call. And yeah, you can come down, and we use the headsets. So we're on the water using the headsets, and
Yeah.
waves
Do
are
you beginner and also like advanced, like wave stuff, or
yeah, it's all advanced stuff. I don't do beginners anymore.
okay.
It's just all advanced coaching. We use the BB talking headsets. So
Yeah.
kite or wing is what I mostly do.
Yeah.
So and then waves, obviously the speciality, but then there's lots to learn in flat water. So all the stuff you need to practice in flat water to get yourself ready for the waves. And we're coming into summer now, so all your downwind 360s, your behind the back fast tack, and all of that, all then get your handling up, your wing handling ready for the waves sessions that are coming. So
Oh yeah, a day group, 6 of you, 500 quid. That's bargain.
yeah, so I've been doing a few 2-to-1s lately. So I've had 3 in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The people are just basically everyone that comes for coaching is so stoked that they normally come back. So both of them, all 3 sets of groups are going to come back in the autumn. So they're going to practice there all summer and then come back for even bigger waves sessions in the autumn. So yeah.
And it's a lovely part of the world.
Yeah. So
If you're on holiday there, it's good.
good.
Good place to hang out.
So we've got some clinics coming up. So if anyone wants the clinics are a bit more, obviously they're cheaper and they're a bit more informal. That's good because you can hook up with other guys. I think we've already got 4 people booked on the intermediate one.
Yeah.
And that so depending on your level, you can choose which clinic to go on. And great thing with clinics is that a lot of people then they hook up for other sessions because they're kind of
How long is the clinic? Is that a day or is that for a
the
few
whole
days?
day for the clinic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we call it on there. So rather than putting which weekend dates it is and keep cancelling, I've just put that we'll be running in April or May.
Yeah.
And so if you're interested, just go on and register. And then when it looks like there's a good forecast for the wave clinic, for the wing clinics, depending if it's going to be wavy, obviously we won't do the basic jibing clinic. And if it's wavy, we'll put on the wave prover clinic.
Yeah. Nice.
Call it on in the week before, as soon as the forecast looks good, and if
Yeah.
make it, you can make it, and if you can, put you on the list for the next one.
Okay, cool. Yes, you don't just get cancelled.
Yeah, so
Normally come down for a few days then, and then they can practically decide.
yeah, when you put like a fixed date, it always ends up that on the date for the wave clinic is flat water and perfect for his tacking and jibing clinic. And on the date for the tacking and jibing clinic, it ends up 6 foot and no good. So
Yeah.
so I've just changed it this year so that do it so that it will be on when it's on. Good.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
It's great.
Nice one, Sam.
Cool, man. See you soon.
Hope to see you soon for some waves.
See you at the beach. Yeah, I know. I need to get down there.
Looks good next weekend. I think there's a windsurf comp in Wales that they're it's looking pretty good for the windsurf in there. So
I'm gonna be off the water now for at least 2 weeks. I've got surgery tomorrow.
Oh yeah. No.
Really annoying. But yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Nice one. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Speak to you in a bit.
Yeah.
All right.